Hi there. I'm Diane Evans from stampingwithdiane.com. I'm an independent Canadian Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in the interior of British Columbia. So welcome to World Card Making Day. This is amazing. So people from and crafters from all around the world, this is the day that's set for us as card makers. I hope that you're going to enjoy this 24 hours of card making. And I thank Stephanie for allowing me to also do a live video for you. So without further ado, I want to go and I am going to go down to my desktop and let's get crafting. So today what I'm doing is I am using the Whimsy and Wonder suite, so to speak. I think it's one of, yes, it's just like the name. It's Whimsy. I am right into pink Christmas cards. It's something that I do. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a fancy fold card for you. Now, I am doing these in imperial measurements, but I do have down in the link below, there'll be all of the measurements that you need in order to all the measurements that you will need in order to do imperial measurements as well. So here are the dies that we're going to be using, and I'm only using the sentiment from this particular stamp set. The whole focus, I believe, is going to be on this fancy fold. So I'll bring in my product, and like I say, I'll give you the measurements in imperial, but I do have the measurements all worked out for you in the metric for all my friends that are in the area where we go by metric, right? All right, so I'm wondering if maybe I should put something dark down there. Let me just put this down here, and then this way, at least you'll be able to see what I'm doing with the cards. So I have a piece of, this is thick basic white. It's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I've gone ahead and I've scored it. No, it's 4 1/4 by 11, and I've scored it at 5 1/2. Whenever you do a fancy fold card that's going back on itself, when you score it once and you're doing another score for the fancy fold, you want to make sure that you turn your cardstock over. And then basically what I've done is I've also scored it at 2 3/4. So I'm going to come in with my bone folder. Now, one thing I always do is I always fold into the mountain. So by folding into the mountain, I'm going to get a nice even score line. Now let's see. I'll just come in with my bone folder. Just move this out of the way, right like that. And then, like I say, on this piece here, it's scored, and I'm folding into the mountain on that side. Now, like I say, this is the thick basic white, so it's like a card base, so you want to make sure that it's good like that. Then I have another piece of this basic white, the thick, and I've cut this at 3 inches by 9 3/4 inches. I've scored this at 4 1/4, and then I turned it again and I scored it at 7 inches. Very important, because that way you get those measurements that are the right measurements. So we're just going to go like that and score it like so. And then this part, actually, it's like this. It's going to actually go onto this part here. All right. So I have a piece of this beautiful, this is the Whimsy and Wonder Designer Series paper. It's in the pink and an iridescent silver. And this is Blushing Bride. So this is at 4 inches by 5 1/4. This is a really easy fold, but it tends to have an awful lot, like it packs a wow with it. So I'm using glue. Now, the reason I'm using glue is, one, I'm on camera, and I can't seem to get things straight when I'm on camera. And two, I've got a bit of wiggle room with it. So I tend to like to use just that, my real adhesive of choice is actually the seal. However, when I'm on camera, I can't get high enough to get it so that it can be straight for me. I have another piece of Designer Series paper. This one happens to be 2 1/2 by 4 inches, and that's going to go right here So let's go ahead and put that on there. This Whimsy suite has lots of different things in the suite. The ribbon is really fun. It's a frayed ribbon. But I'm right into pink cards. So, and right up my alley with all these particular ones. All right, so I have this like this. And that's going to go like that. And then this piece here is going to go onto here. And when we go to open it, it opens like that. Now, normally, if I was going to do this for another type card, I might actually go and put pink on here. And, you know, I think I will. I'm just going to grab it. And I'll just go and quickly cut this. So this piece, whoops, that's a full piece. I don't want to do that. I am so sorry. Anyways, I'm going to cut this piece and I'm going to have a pink piece that goes in there. So this is going to be, again, it's going to be the same size as that basic white. So it is going to be 2.5 by 4. So let's just get that cut. Just to show you how quickly it is to cut these pieces. Let's get there. Right. And like I say, that can go right there, and that will look 100% better. I didn't think of that when I was designing this card. So I'm just going to put that there. And now what I want to do is I think I'm going to put the parts on here ahead of time so that I can then just put it all together. So this piece is going to go across here like so. So I have a piece, it's 3/4 of an inch by, I believe this is 2 3/4 inches. I'm just going to put that down there for a tiny bit of decoration on there. You know, sometimes these fancy fold cards are not as difficult as they appear to be. And then I have another piece of this designer series paper, and this is 2 1/4 by 3.5. Now, I was going to mat this, but my whole purpose behind that was I wanted it to pop off of the white. So I'm actually just going to put that right onto the front piece here because I have lots to go onto the front that it'll all work. Right, so that's just going to go there. Now, if we wanted to, we have those beautiful snowflakes that go with this suite. Oops, you know what? That's wrong too. This is actually going to be matted onto a silver. See why I use glue? Because I can take it that quickly. There we go. Now this can go onto there. Yeah, that makes sense. So I hope you're getting lots of ideas for World Card Making Day. That's just going to go there. Like I say, that's a little crooked, so let's straighten that up. And that's going to go on the card like so. Now, I also went and cut out from the trees, the Christmas tree dies. Went and I cut out a blushing bride one like this and silver. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my glue on there. I'm not popping it up because I can pop the whole image up. All right. Let's just put that onto here. There we go. And now, like I say, I can use my dimensionals to pop that up so that I can actually get that onto, so it pops up and I didn't have to worry about, whoops, oh, there goes my tree. See what I mean by wiggle room? Didn't want that to wiggle so much like that. There we go. just going to put that, get that ready. Now, I have this from the Stitch Labels dies, and this is actually what I'm going to go ahead and put my sentiment on. Now, originally, I thought the sentiment could be done in Blushing Bride, but I really think that it would really sort of add to the mark and make it sort of correspond with everything is if I go ahead and I use silver embossing powder. So let me bring in my embossing buddy. I'm just going to do that there. I need some Versamark. And we're going to use that right on there. And how can that happen? It was all right here. Is my silver embossing powder. Just bear with me. Just used it. Well, I think we're going to be using pink then. All right, so I'm coming in with my Blushing Bride. Just going to wipe that off. And we'll use the Blushing Bride. So we want to make sure that this is straight. So I'm just going to use my other grid paper so that I can actually see this. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to put that in there. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to see that with the camera being right there. There we go. Good. All right. So let's finish off the card. So I have some of these trees and everything else. All right. So now let's go. And I think at this point now we could think about putting this on so that we can decorate it, and we're going to see how it decorates. Now, the best way to put this on is to put, you could use tear and tape. I'm going to use glue. And I'm just going to put it onto the front part that's going to go there. And then I'm going to also put this onto the bottom part. And then when I go to put this on, I'm grabbing it just like that. And then I'm going to center this, but I have to do it as a sandwich in between. So that is why that's going the way that is. So now what I can do is I can just take that and I'm just going to hold that in place until I know that that glue has stuck. Because like I say, the glue's on this part here and it's also on the front part. Going to put this on here and we're going to pop that up. Let's bring in our dimensionals. Just like so. And I use my Take Your Pick tool. Hopefully you're getting lots of tips along the way. But I just take my Take Your Pick tool to take off my back pieces of this, of the dimensionals. And then that way they're all together and I can throw them right into the trash bin right off the bat. Now this is going to go off to the side here because my tree is going to go right about there. Oh, there's my there. So let's go and take those off as well. Let's put our tree on there. And I want the tree to kind of overlap a little bit onto the label. And then these trees here, I thought I had 3 silver, but obviously I'm going to put a dimensional onto the back of the tree. Let's It's just going to go, let's see, the big one's going to go behind. We're going to have one there and one there. So let me put this one here. This is the bigger pink one. So I'm actually going to have that just go underneath that tree a bit, but I'm still going to put a dimensional on there. This is a pretty big dimensional. So I'm just going to cut that just like so. Let's put that behind there. And then I'm just sticking this just under there and up. There we go. And then just trimming this part off here. And then this little tree can go over here. And that's going to be just glued straight down because we don't want that dimension right there. Let's just put that right about there. And I'm going to trim this part off. That wiggle room works to your benefit, and sometimes it works as a bit of a hindrance. And today it's working as a hindrance for me. All right, so there's my tree or my card. Now what I want to do is I want to, of course, we could put some ribbon on there. I'm not going to use ribbon on here. I am going to go in with some embellishments. And I'm thinking probably what would work best for me are rhinestones. So I'm just going to bring in my rhinestones, and I'll take your pick tool. And now I use the opposite side of this one. And this is where it picks up stuff. So let's go here. I'm going to take a bigger rhinestone right there. You can take the middle-sized rhinestone. It's got a bit of hair on it, so I'm not sure where that came from. One right there. And then let's take a smaller one there. Now this one could probably go with 5 rhinestones. I think would work with this one. So you always want to make sure that you have your embellishments like rhinestones and that sort of stuff. You want them to be in numbers, odd numbers. So I'm just going to put that one there. And you know what? I can go ahead and put one right here as well. There. What a sparkly card, right? So I hope you like that. There's my, I should put this back in there. That's my card for World Card Making Day. It's where like I say, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you have a great time with all these different ideas that the different demonstrators have given you. And next week, be prepared because make your cards and then we're going to send them next week for World Card Sending Week. So thank you so much for stopping by. Remember, it's Diane from stampingwithdiane.com. And also, this is my YouTube. You could subscribe to my YouTube channel. And thanks again to Stephanie for her 24 hours of cards. Bye for now.